The Apple Watch first came out in April 2015, and 2 years later became the #1 watch, smartwatch or regular watch, in the world. Here are 10 tips, tricks, things you didn't know about your Apple Watch, or things that you might have seen but just didn't know what they were. Starting with the first one, theater mode. Theater mode is found by swiping up from the bottom of the watch and tapping on the 2 theater masks. This turns off the raise to wake feature on your watch. That way the screen doesn't light up every time you reach for popcorn, maybe when it's time to make your move and you put your arm around your date. Your screen doesn't light up and annoy everybody. It'll also silence all of your notifications, turns off walkie-talkie mode, and sets your default flashlight to the red flashlight, which brings us to feature number 2, flashlight modes. This is accessed by swiping up from the bottom and tapping on the flashlight icon. What most people don't know is that the flashlight starts out dim on purpose, so that way you don't blast your face with light if it's really dark. It gives you a couple seconds to turn your wrist and shine it in the direction that you need it to. Swiping one over to the left gives you a strobe flashlight, perfect for riding your bike or running and staying visible. Swipe one more time and you'll find the red flashlight again. Most people don't actually know what the point of this light is. One, in a dark room, this red flashlight doesn't disturb everybody else. It makes it so you can see something without being too much of a distraction. Another use for it is outdoors at a campsite or something. That way it doesn't attract insects or anything. The red light doesn't register for them. It's a pretty cool feature that not a lot of people realize is there. And just like not a lot of people realize that one, another feature that you might not be using to the full potential is pinging your iPhone. You may have seen this icon before in the control center. You may have even used it. If you swipe up from the bottom and tap the phone icon, it'll make a sound on your iPhone speaker so you can find where it is. But what a lot of people don't know is if you actually hold that icon, it makes a sound and illuminates the flashlight. So not only can you hear it, but you can see where it is as well. Speaking of hearing it, did you know that the Apple Watch comes with 8 GB of storage? That way you can add your favorite music or your favorite playlist to the watch, use your wireless headphones or AirPods, and you don't even need to have your phone with you to listen to music. Another thing you can do without your phone is Wi-Fi calling, and this works on the cellular and the non-cellular Apple Watch. Here's how it works. If your iPhone has been to a place and has been on that place's Wi-Fi, for example, the gym or work, it tells the Apple Watch automatically that we're allowed to trust this Wi-Fi. So if one time you go there and you happen to leave your phone at home, your Apple Watch remembers your phone allowed you to use this Wi-Fi before and will enable Wi-Fi calling and messages. Here, I'll show you. I'll turn off my phone to pretend I left it at home. As you can see, I can still make calls on my watch, and this is not the cellular Apple Watch. I don't think anybody knew that feature, so let me know in the comments below. Bonus tip, it also works for iMessaging. iMessage also has another feature that's not widely known, and it's accessed through digital touch. Once you're in an iMessage thread with somebody who also has an Apple Watch, hit the App Store icon, similar to how you'd hit the like button if you learned at least one new thing in the video. Then you'll see the digital touch at the end. Now, what most people don't know is if you take 2 fingers, put it on the screen, it'll take your heartbeat and send it in real time to that person to feel on their wrist. Works as long as they have an Apple Watch. Now, wrapping up iMessage, we'll look at default replies. This is where you see a list of replies that you can quickly use to answer a message without having to type out the whole thing or speak to the watch for the whole message. To change these, we'll go into the Apple Watch app on the iPhone and hit the messages, much like you'd hit subscribe if you learned at least 2 things in this video. Then you'll see smart replies. With smart replies turned on, if someone asks you a question, for example, pizza or burgers, you'll see an option for both, so you can quickly answer. You can also add your most frequently used messages on here to save you time when you're using your Apple Watch for messaging. While we have the iPhone out, let's look at activity sharing. If you go into the Fitness app and tap on the Sharing tab on the bottom, you'll see a list of everyone you're sharing your activity with. People you're sharing your activity with get a notification whenever you finish an activity, finish a workout, close your rings, or get an award. If you tap on their name, you'll see a little bit more detail on what their activity has been for the day, and you can start a friendly competition with them so you can keep each other motivated. If you tap on the plus icon, you can send an invite to somebody so you can also share your activity with them. If you learned at least 3 things in this video, you should share it with somebody that's on that list. Now, sometimes all you want to do is send a screenshot of what's on your watch. If you go in the Apple Watch app on your phone and go into General, you'll find an option that says Enable Screenshots. This is off by default because in the first 2 generations of Apple Watch, a lot of people accidentally took screenshots, and it was a big complaint. So just keep in mind, you might accidentally trigger it. To take a screenshot, you just press the side button and the digital crown at the same time, and it'll automatically save to your camera roll. The digital crown isn't just used for scrolling, as you can see. It can be pressed just like it's a real button. Pressing it once brings you to your home screen. But did you know double pressing the digital crown works for multitasking? It's how you can easily switch between 2 apps at the same time. Now, I usually switch between my workout app and my key card to get into the gym, or my workout app and my music app so I can quickly change the playlist. I have more little known features on the Apple Watch. After working at Apple for about 5 years and teaching people how to actually use the products, there's a lot of stuff that people just don't know that they can do. If I should make a part 2 or a similar video on a different Apple product, let me know. We just passed 700 subscribers. 1,000 is right around the corner, so thank you to everybody that subscribed already and that shares the videos. If you haven't seen it already, check out my iPhone 14 Pro review. The whole thing is shot in cinematic mode on the iPhone.